Were there questions on the homework? I'm like getting in there. I don't even know if you guys had questions. Yeah. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up.
How do you find like your snippets? Because I forgot to send you that snippet.
Did you save it somewhere?
I don't know. I think I did. I don't even remember how I snipped
It should be on your. If you did save it, it's going to be on your clipboard. Like if you did do a snip,
Where's that?
just paste
She
anywhere.
snipped it. I don't think she saved it.
I think I did. I'm pretty sure.
But if you close your snipper tool, then it's gone without saving. All right, it was 10 questions, right? Just a little bit. Not so bad. Q&A what?
They said we're gonna have a Q&A. I was like, oh boy.
We can have a Q&A. What's a Q&A? Questions and answers.
My dad, you know, he drive too. So, he already drive
I'm a deplorable. I'm in a basket.
Do you do number 7 or 8? It's like the one with the X. You don't really pass it for that one.
It's TA, but yeah. My pizza is right behind
every
mine.
time I pass by.
That one? Yeah,
You
cool.
made that up himself?
Let me.
My pizza is right behind it. Wait, Linus, can we ask you a question about the study plan?
Yeah, what do you want to know?
I don't know what this is. I don't remember doing this. Like, I remember doing perimeter, but not with radicals.
Perimeter with radicals?
Yeah.
Same thing. You're just adding, right, to some of all three sides. All right, so.
Okay.
On this one, I really can't do anything with this third root because the power of x and y are less than the index, so I can't do anything with that. Okay, so I'm going to leave that alone. But over on this side, I see that there's a 27 inside. And what is the third root of 27? It's just 3, right? So this is going to become 14x to the third cube root of xy minus 6x to the third times 3, because that's the third root of 27. And then, of course, you're going to leave behind the third root of xy. All I need to do now is to multiply out the 6 and 3. So 14x to the third root of xy, minus 18x to the third root of xy. So if you have 14 and you're taking 18x to the thirds away, then that would leave you with negative 4x to the third root of xy. That's it.
Oh, no, she was talking about her snippet.
Oh.
I'm trying to
Snippity doo dah, snippity day. Mama, what a wonderful day. Wonderful feelings coming my way. Daddy Yankee.
just look. See, I have two
Ruben.
of them now.
Thank you.
You don't need it. Yes, I do. I've had this.
I can't see your eyes. I don't know if you're like meditating over there.
Yes, meditate.
Well, you know what I mean when I say meditating. I didn't want to accuse him of sleeping.
Is your
really good.
I want to know.
You're good. You should have opened your and say amen. That would be great. Did you want to see the next one too, son? Alright, cool beans. Let's do that. So here is 8. Ooh.
Ew.
What? Don't do.
I ew a lot.
Add a W to that. Be like, woo!
Ew.
Okay. Let's start by doing the prime factorization of 48. So 48 divided by 2, that's 24. Divide by 2, that's 12. Divide by 2, that's 6. Divide by 2, you're going to get 3. So it looks like I've got one set of 2's here, don't I? with that index of 4. So that's going to become 4 times 2, 4th root of 3. 768, holy smokes.
That's why I
760.
said ew. Are you gonna do it by 2 or like bigger?
No, you want to do primes.
Okay.
You want to do primes. And using 2 just cuts everything in half really fast, doesn't it? So I'm just going to go 2. I'm going to use my calculator.
It's gonna take forever.
No, it's not. It's going to take about 30 seconds. 768 divided by 2 is a 384. Divide that by 2. It's going to be 192. Divide that by 2. You're going to get 96. Divide that by 2. You're going to get 48. Divide that by 2. You're going to get 24. Then we're back over there on. No, we're already done.
Everything's right up there more.
See that?
You only needed to write like 4 more, you know, it's okay.
That's okay, but it's fast. I mean, it's not even a hard work. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's 5.
Oh, my bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 2 sets of 2s, which means I'm going to get plus 2 times 2 times 2, and then 4th root of 3. So 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So I'm going to get a total of 16, 4th root of 3.
Good deal.
Good deal.
Man, I'm accepting the big fat 0 I'm gonna give for English. Wait, what? AP.
That was 8.
Because I'm missing the end of
Three?
the final on Friday.
Zippity doo da, zippity. Sorry, you got this one already? Okay.
Yeah, I should remember that. I'm gonna do figure out.
Yes, I was.
You got so mad at me.
Same idea.
So funny.
So, like, comment like that.
I'm so weak. It's just so funny watching you.
I get so.
I don't know why, it's just so simple.
So same idea. The 64 is the one you're going to want to break down. So divide by 2, you're going to get 32. Divide by 2, you're going to get 16. Divide by 2, you're going to get 8. Divide by 2, you're going to get 4. Divide by 2, you're going to get 2. So this time I want to circle them in sets of 5 because that's my index. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like I'm going to get 1 and 1 left over. So that's going to become 2, 5th root of 2, plus 5, 5th root of 2. 2 plus 5 gives me 7, 5th root of 2. Okay.
That was easy.
I know, like, it makes you like
Anything else?
So my dad talked to Trigla yesterday because he goes to like our wrestling meets, and just joking. I'll tell you what he did then.
I have a question.
Yeah.
But it's on the study plan.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, it shows like a triangle and then it gives you 3 sides.
Here,
But
let
they
me
don't
see
have
it.
radicals.
Isn't that the? Oh, it doesn't have graphs on it.
Okay. Do you have this already, Serena? Serena? Is this Serena? No.
She's not even. Oh.
Oh my goodness, I blanked out on your name. I'm so
Who are
sorry.
you talking to? Marissa?
Marissa. Okay, so it looks like this, and you've got 4 radical 80, 3 square root of 125, and square root of 72, right? And they want you to find the perimeter. Well, how do you find a perimeter of a triangle?
You know.
Yes, you do. You add all the sides. You're looking.
You had like do one
No, that's the area. Perimeter is just distance around.
Isn't the area base and height?
So it's going to be 4 square root of 80 plus 3 square root of 125 plus the square root of 72. That's what you're going to be doing. So let's see here. For 80, 240, 220, 2 10s, 2 5. So I've got a set of 2s. That gives me 4, right? So 4 times the 4 is going to be 16. And then what's left behind is the 5. And then here, that's the 125, 5, 25, 5, 5. So I have one set of 5. So 5 times 3 is the 15. Square root of the 5 left over. 72, 36, 2, thank you, 2, 9, 3, 3. So I'm going to have a 2 and a set of 3s, which is 6. So this will be plus 6 square root of 2. I can add those, which is 31 square root of 5 plus 6 square root of 2. That's it.
Wait, wouldn't you have to? Why would it's just both of them? You don't have to add those two together?
Can you?
I don't think so, but I'm just checking.
Okay.
Are you sure this is right?
Do it. That's the beauty of the math.
I won't know for 2 more questions.
What's your question?
You do this one. I don't want to say it that loud.
Oh.
I didn't know Mr. Williams was listening. Oh my gosh.
I can see why you wouldn't want to do that.
Oh, heck no.
I bet you that's going to end up being some root of 3. So let's start breaking it down. I'm going to grab my calculator now because I'm going to. So we've got 388. Start by dividing by 2. Is it divisible by 3? Yeah, you can divide. You want to start with 3 then? That'll make it go down faster. I know it's going to have a 3 in there because of that bad boy.
Because of that bad boy.
Right? So let me start by dividing by 3. That gives me 1, 2, 9, 6. That's divisible by 3. I'll tell you why. I can divide 6 by 3, I can divide 9 by 3, and I can divide 3 by 3.
3 by 3.
Yeah, the sum of those two. Okay, so I can divide that by 3. I'm going to go ahead and divide by 3. It's going to give me 432. Is that divisible by 3? Sure is. That's going to give me 144. Is that divisible by 3? Yes, it is, because that sum is 9, right? So divide by 3. That's going to give me 48. Can I divide 48 by 3? Yep, because that sum is 12. I'm going to get 16. I can't divide 16 by 3, but I can divide it by deuce. That's going to give me 8, 2, 4, 2, 2. Is this square root? Fourth root. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 6 on the outside, right?
Yes.
So it's going to be 6, fourth root of 3, plus 5, fourth root of 3, for 11, fourth root of 3.
They just love typing out. They were
What?
like, let me just add another 8 to this.
I think they got, I don't know. I don't
Spasm
know.
on the keyboard.
What is this? It says a rectangular electronic scoreboard for a sports arena has a length of blank and then a width of blank. Choose the best estimate of the dimensions.
Yeah, so it's an electronic scoreboard. You don't know what that is? You see
I
basketball?
know. Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I know what it is.
Let me see. Okay, so it's the rest of
Have you ever?
it.
Yeah.
Not the electronic scoreboard part. Oh. So it's saying it's got this, and the length is the square root of 135, and the width is square root of 65?
Yeah.
So it's saying what's the best, oh, so they're just asking what is the closest thing to that. Yeah, so choose the best estimate of its dimensions. So what I would have to do is try to break this down. So 135, let's see here, what do we got? Divide by 5, what am I going to get? 8?
5 into 13.
Hold up.
You're trying- I'm throwing my honey down the calculator.
27.
27? So it's going to be 3, 9, right? 3, it's a square root. So 9 square root of... Actually, you know what? Here, let's even just not do that. I'm going to take the square root of 135. That means that it is 11.618. And the square root of 65 is 8.06. So what are the best dimensions according to what you have there? It's like a, what, 12 by 8? There you go.
12 and 8?
Did you have an 11 by 8?
Yeah, but I also have a 12 by 8.
Well, remember the rounding issue?
Yeah.
I would go with a 12 by 8 in this case.
Okay.
The way she, okay.
You're supposed to choose one of those, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't sound so.
I would go 12 by 8, just because of the rounding rules.
That's another
Gave you a bonus question?
I am not doing this one.
Alright, cool. Yo, bonus question!
Wait, what if it gives you 4 sides?
Then it's a square.
I put
But
it in
it's
my
different
hand.
sides.
Okay.
Oh, it's gonna be
Triangle.
mad.
It's 4 different sides. It's not 2 equal.
I'm waiting for your divider.
Oh, they're telling you the perimeter. Add them up.
What you do?
How do we get with the
I
triangle?
said I'm waiting for your computer to break. She like
Alright, if we're done, let's get ready for some notes. We gotta get through this chapter. Next week, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet
Nope. You tweet.
I don't follow you.
this morning. Next week is gonna be a busy week. You've got a chapter test, and you have your written final coming up.
I'm not gonna be here Thursday and Friday next week. I'm not gonna be here at all next week.
Then you'll have to make arrangements with me to get that taken care of. Okay?
Wait, when is the writing? Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, what are the dates of those?
The test depends on when we finish. I wanted to shoot for Wednesday, and the written final is definitely Friday.
Okay.
Is the written final gonna be like when we do like?
What's that thing we're supposed to read to learn how to write final? Like writing that.
It's on my webpage.
Wait, what is that?
Chapter 8. We got 8.5 today. Let's do this, man.
Number 1 that you gave me was wrong.
What, which one?
Yikes.
I don't know, but the one that I just did was right, but that was it.
How do you know the one that I did was wrong, and not the one you did?
Well, no, the middle one was right.
The first one.
I'll take credit for the right one.
The
You
perimeter
can-
of the triangle.
I tell you, so you're gonna be teaching me, girl.
That's why I said it. She's like, it was the perimeter of the triangle that they curved it around.
Was it? It didn't want 2 of them. It wanted 1.
No, it was 31 square root and then another square root 5 inside of it. And we just did 31 square root 5.
Ew, what was that?
I see. That's what's.
Poor answer. He's angry now.
It does bug me sometimes.
You're stupid.
All right.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
That just reminded me of Mr. Shapiro.
Oh my god, just why?
Because like he can ask you a math question, and you can do math so many different ways that like if you don't guess the way that they wanted it, you're just wrong.
That's
You know what I mean?
Shapiro.
And that's what that is right there. So
Wait,
But-
but,
but
it's the
Shapiro,
same
I mean-
exact thing?
I have paid the exact.
it's funny because he asked me about like a curve. He graph a curve for me. Like, hey, what's the equation of this? And I'm like, all right, that's sine. And then it's like, no way it can be right because no matter what you pick, he'll pick the other one. It's funny that way. When we get to graphing the sine curve and cosine curves, you'll see. You guys remind me of that joke. There's no way.
Wait, are we gonna get this wrong on our test?
No. If not, we can talk. Remember, you're writing down all your work, right?
For
We can
that,
always come back
wait,
to
is it
that.
still right like something?
Wait, do I have to retake this whole test because of that then?
Did you get enough?
No, it's 2 out of 3 questions.
Oh well then, I guess.
80% does not do anything for us.
All right, here we go. So 8.5 is multiplying and dividing radical expressions. The objectives are to multiply radicals, rationalize denominators with one radical term, rationalize denominators with binomials, and then write radicals in lowest terms. So let's get started with the multiplying of radicals. Keep that idea. Remember we talked about being able to do this kind of fast. I apologize. I hope I didn't offend anybody by saying that. Sometimes it does take time for us to do that. Okay, you can only get faster with experience and once you kind of master that. So if you can't do this fast, don't feel bad. That's okay, right, Kyle? No.
He like moved his head.
That was perfect. I was talking to you. I asked the question, and you just kind of went like this. And I'm like, okay, my bad. Okay. So let me show you how I FOIL these. This is going to give me 2, right? And then I'm going to go 2 radical 5. Oh, you can't combine those. So that's going to give you plus 2 radical 5. And then you've got these plus the square root of 3. And then finally you have the square root of... The square root of what? Go ahead.
What's the point of us learning this?
That's a fantastic question because you're not going to use this.
We're not?
serious?
No.
Don't joke about this right now.
Can we use this on a test then and just call it quits?
Can we call it a day?
My mom says doesn't
Here's, I always get that question, and I'm not going to lie to you.
College algebra was because her exam proctor left the room and she did it with the other person.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you want to know the truth, you probably will never use this in your life. What you're supposed to be doing is supposed to gain skills for problem solving, mainly. And then, of course, you probably would get to college algebra, and then you call math quits, period. So that's the lowest math that you have to take in order to pretty much any career that doesn't involve math or science.
Really? You only have to take one math?
What are you going to do for a living?
Well, I'm gonna be a vet.
I'm gonna be a
For vet, I don't know. That's kind of the, like,
Well, like mine is all science.
yeah, you're going to take more math.
I was looking at whatever, like all of my semesters, like what I would be taking if I was doing that, and it's nothing but science. It's nothing but science. Except like with math.
So we can get on that gravy train, but you guys already know you have to do this. You got to get through it. I'm just trying to make it less painful for you. So please help me. I help you, and we get through this together.
Got it.
Okay. So you guys already know how to use your distributive property, or sorry, your FOIL methods. We're just multiplying this out. The question was on the last one. When I take, I know that was the question. If I take the square root of 3 times the square root of 5, I'm going to get the square root of 15. You just multiply the two. And of course, since I can't combine anything, you'd be done at this point.
So you just leave it like that?
Yeah, you can't combine anything.
Okay, I like this lesson.
But of course, if you can't simplify, then you're going to want to do that. Like in the second example. Now, hopefully you guys recognize that these are conjugates. You guys remember that from the last section? They're exactly the same except for that middle section, right? That middle piece?
Yeah.
So what does that allow me to do? Multiply the first two and do the last two. So I'm going to get 16 minus the square root of 25, which happens to just be 5. So 16 minus 5 is simply 11. So all of this is simply 11. Good.
Maybe one day I'll like run across someone and I'll need it.
You
What would we
rob
use this for? Like what types
You
of
never know.
jobs?
What if you just like you're walking on the street, people ask weird questions. You get
What's
surveyed.
your
Like here's this math problem.
Oh my God, lady, do you remember what E is to the 10th decimal place?
No, but seriously, what job would you really need this for?
Engineering, definitely.
I'm screwed. I'm not doing it.
And there's a website you can go to as well. You know, I'll have to find it for you. I'll put it on my website, but it talks about all the jobs that will be using mathematics, and they're actually the ones that are moving to the top paying jobs.
See, I'm trying to like be rich, but with no math. I'll hire you.
Do you watch HBO? Just kidding. Yeah, well, actually,
I will hire. Yeah, there's acting.
you gotta act like a mathematician, I guess. All right, let's do this one. Here, you have a binomial, right? It's the same thing times itself. So we have that rule, kind of that skeleton, right? You take the first one, you square it. So what is the square root of 13 squared? It's just going to be end up being 13, right? So you got 13, and then you're going to multiply these two, so that'll give you negative 2 radical 13, but it happens twice. So that's going to give you a negative 4 radical 13. And then finally you square the last one, which is going to be a plus 4. Clean it up. Should give you 17 minus 4 radical 13.
So.
Where did
What happened?
Could you? Yeah. Where did you get the 4 square root of 13? How?
Oh, remember? Okay, so do you remember the a squared plus 2ab plus b squared formula? That's what I followed. So here's a. So where's a squared?
Square root of 13.
Which is going to end up being
13. Because you square.
right, because you square that, and it's pretty much just
Cancels out.
right. Now this is 2 times a times b. So what is this times this? Well, that's just going to be negative 2 radical 13, right? But it happens twice. So I multiply that by 2, so that's going to give me negative 4 radical 13.
I need to write this down.
Yeah, thank you for saying something, because I'm making assumptions you still remember what we did.
Oh, okay. I just looked and I was like, where the heck? Whenever you wrote that, I remember I was like, what?
Yeah, not the greatest assumption. Please ask. Please ask. Right, Hudson?
A squared plus 2ab plus b squared.
I didn't require it being hit or yeah, there wasn't any. That was from live. Because I made this one before.
Is there gonna be a lot like those?
If I were to make a legit one,
I don't know. Maybe.
it was live. My mom, yeah, my mom takes me. I said the thing.
Okay. More, or you guys get the picture? You guys need to do these two, or do you guys
Oh, it equals 0.
Can you do?
do this one? Oh, that was actually pretty fun. What's that? Do both. Okay. Conjugates, right? That means I can do just the first two, and then do the last two. So that's going to give me negative third root of 49. Right? And can I do anything with 49? I mean, I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to give me a third root of something in there, right? Because it will just break up into 7 7. Which means I won't have another 7 to make it a whole number. Because my index is 3. I would need to have 3 7s in there, and that's not going to happen. So, you're done. Hip hip hooray. Okay. Conjugates again. So, multiply the first two. That's going to give me R. Multiply the last two. That's going to give me S. I didn't mean to drop the marker.
Are you sure? Liar.
No, I was trying to put it on the shelf here, and it just tipped over. Stay. Stop it. Notice those conditions again. R has to be greater than or equal to 0, and so does S.
That's all you have to do for it?
Yeah, they're conjugates.
That's it.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. All right, cool. Rationalizing the denominator. This is really cool. If I want to give you a piece of something, I should be able to kind of just like break out the piece, right? Hey, let me get half of that candy bar, right?
Nope.
I get a candy bar, break it in two, I give it to you. You don't really sit there and be like, let me measure that. I don't think you gave me exactly half, right? You kind of take word for it, so it's kind of a rough estimate. It's cool. But how do I give you 5 pieces of radical 11 if I don't know where radical 11 stops? You can't, right? So what we have to do with that denominator is this thing called rationalizing. Okay? That means make the denominator into an integer. Cool? And it's actually a pretty cool idea because we use the whole identity property. You guys remember the identity property? What's the identity property? Anything times 1 is still itself, right? Beautiful. So the way I'm going to fix this problem up here is by multiplying it by 1. Right? Doesn't that fix the problem? It fixes it if I make my 1 look like this. Isn't that 1?
Oh, yeah.
So what I'm going to get is 5 radical 11 over 11. And now my denominator is an integer. And I've rationalized it. Yay.
That was easy.
When did that not gonna work?
I'll put more batteries in it. And I know where they sell them.
Really?
Staples.
You don't have a.
Like, wait,
They have, like, a
That's
whole-
their. Oh my.
That's their easy button.
oh,
They have it on the commercials.
That was easy.
when,
Do they have like a whole aisle of them, or is it just like?
Not an aisle, but they have a section.
Oh, there's no
Is it different
ones,
colors?
or-
I wonder
No,
how
this just
popular they
that's it.
actually are.
I love that button. It's the easy button.
Why is
Button.
it button?
I don't know. Sometimes I like to enunciate every letter in a word, okay?
Oh,
Like
Is
written.
that okay? Okay.
How do I rationalize this problem? What am I going to multiply by?
5.
Root 5 over root 5, right? So root 5 over root 5 is going to give me 5 radical 30 over 5. What happens with those 5s?
Cancel.
No. Don't say they cancel.
No, they simplify.
Into a 1, so I just get radical
I was
30.
right there.
I know what you meant, but that's not what you're supposed to say. But good job, Pepe.
You don't. Never mind. I'm not.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Can you? Can you?
No, I
30 would become 2, 15, 3, 5. No, you can't.
See, that's why I say that's mine.
Good job. You
I
go,
feel
Pepe.
good myself.
All right. Everyone cool with that?
Wait,
Easy
don't
enough?
move it. Stop.
That's not so bad.
You know what this broke again? No, but.
Munoz. Munoz. Did you guys do this last year too? Oh, cool. All right. So you got some bread. All right. Yeah. I don't like making this hard.
You make it really easy.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do explain.
I should
You make it not boring.
I tell you really, really fast.
That's good. That's the purpose.
And I stay awake.
Yeah, when you start.
That's how you know.
Did you fall asleep in rush?
That's good. That's good. That's good.
She's like so serious with it.
All right, cool. Can we move on then?
You when
You guys can do this one already, right? What are you going to multiply by? Root 18 over root 18. And you can simplify it, which you can in this case.
Wait, what? Okay, you have to do this one now.
Okay.
You have to do this.
We'll do this one?
Yes.
All right, cool. Because I want to get to the... I don't think we're going to
Just do
get
this last one.
I don't think we're going to get to the part I want.
Simplify before or after?
No. Well, I would just do it now. And then you can let stuff simplify out as you want. But if you want to simplify it right now, you can. It really doesn't matter. Here, let me show you both ways. Cool? So let's say I just went ahead and did this. And I got negative 8 square root of 18 over 18. Try to simplify my 18 here. That would give me 2, 9, 3, 3, right? So that's going to become negative 24 square root of 2 over 18. What goes into both of those? 3? 6? So it would be negative 4 radical 2 over 3.
Wait. What did you put together right there?
Right here. Here's the square root of 18, right?
Yeah.
So I get 2 3s.
And that's 3.
3 times the 8 gives me,
Okay.
sorry about that, times the 3. So there's one direction. If you chose to simplify it first, I don't think that would help. It wouldn't have helped. Let's see here. You're going to get negative 8 third root of 2, right? If you simplified it right now, you'd multiply by 3 radical 2 over 3 radical 2, right? This top part would give you the negative 24 radical 2. Here you're going to get 3 times 3 is 9 radical 4. What's the square root of 4? 2. So you're going to get negative 24 radical 2. 2 times 9 is 18, and you're back at that step again. So whichever one you want to do is fine.
Do you like that?
There's nothing else to do. As long as that denominator doesn't have a radical in it, we're good to go.
Your little crooked, you went.
I know my answer got in the way, so I just dip. Yeah. I stopped doing that. It took too long. You know how sometimes to get people's attention, you're like, if you hear me calculating to get the best words, or they do a pattern and people do it, I just like.
Or you just like scream.
I gotta be vocal. Sometimes I do when I get mad.
You get mad.
I've gotten mad.
Really?
Not mad, more than disappointed. I think my disappointment comes out sometimes. Okay. Oh. How about this one? So let's see here. Negative radical 8 over radical 45. And can we do anything with 45? 315, 35. Yeah. Do we want to do it right now, though? No. No. So square root of 45, square root of 45. That's going to leave me with a denominator of 45. Okay. That's going to give me... And here's what's cool about this. I can leave those the way they are. Here, check this out. Square root of 8 times the square root of 45. That way I don't have a big number that I got to have to kind of prime factor. I can do them separately. So that 8 is going to become negative 2 radical 2. And the 45 is going to become 3 radical 5, I believe. Correct? Mm-hmm. Someone double check that. This is the square root of 8 right here. And this is the square root of 45. Right? So, here, check this out. I like this. This is cool. Radical 2 times 3 radical 5 over 45. I know that 3 and 5 can be simplified, right? So, how many times would 3 go into there? 15? Right? So, it'd be negative 2 radical 2 times radical 5 now. And then that becomes a 15 because I simplified the 3 and the 45. And of course, if you want to clean that up, that's negative 2 radical 10 over 15. That's a horrible 10. So at this point right here, there's like a bunch of different ways you could have gone. You could have multiplied the 2 and then break that down, and then simplify them separately, whatever floats your boat. Whatever makes sense to you. Okay?
So, you want to go? I don't know. That was like. She doesn't even say the So technically, he's saying if we want to make his guess, at least
Okay, we're good?
Well, Saturday I might get a UV for.
Wow. Do we need to do this one? What was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, do that one real quick. Okay. So I've got the square root of 200 k to the 6th over the square root of y to the 7th. Now, how can I get the denominator to not have any roots? Well, if I think about this, how many times is 2 going to 7 already? Okay, because this is a really good one. Ladies, this is a really good one to look at. I broke this up into 2 fractions, numerator, denominator. Now, here's my question. 2 goes in there 3 times, doesn't it? but I would have one y left over. So instead of multiplying over here by y to the 7th again, I'm only going to multiply by the square root of y. Just one y. Okay? Can anyone think of the reason for that?
Does 3y stay down there still?
Yeah, because remember, if we multiply this, this is going to become the square root of y to the 8th, doesn't it? If I have 7 of them there, another one here, it's going to become 8. And then, that would just simplify to y to the 4th. That's why I only multiply by 1. Instead of having to go 7 again, I only need one more to get that to be a rational number down there. Make sense?
Is y to the 4th? No.
Well, once I take the square root of y to the 8th, I get y to the 4th. Remember, it's power over root, right? So what's 8 over 2?
Over 2.
Would become 4. That's just the denominator piece. Not there yet?
No, I got you.
You got it? Ladies? All right, cool. Continuing over here. 200. I'm going to have to break 200 down. 200 is going to be 100, 2 times 10. That's pretty much it, isn't it? Because if I do that, that's going to give me 25. So this is going to give me 2 square root of 10 inside. And then 6 divided by 2, it gives me 3, doesn't it? So I'm going to get to bring k to the 3rd outside. But I still have this y as well. Yeah, go ahead.
What's the dash right for the 2 dash?
It's part of my equal sign.
Oh.
It's part of my equal sign. Okay. So just slide that over. 2k to the 3rd, square root of 10y. Okay. Questions on the numerator? I did that kind of fast. I'm sorry. Should I do it again?
No, you're good.
Anybody?
But where'd you get the? Oh, okay. Where'd you get the?
I'll do it again.
No, he doesn't even know what to ask.
I'll do it again. Here. So the denominator is good though, right?
Yes.
All right. So here's what's really going on. Once I multiply this out, this is going to give me the square root of 200 k to the 6th y. Okay? So I'm looking at what I can take out. And over here, I've got the prime factorization of that 200. Okay, so I can definitely bring out a 2, can't I? But I'm going to have to leave a 10 behind, correct? Now, looking at k, how many sets of k can I bring out? Well, it's k to the 6th over 2, isn't it? Because that's my index.
Yeah.
And I don't have remainders, so does anything go back inside? No, I'm going to get all 3k's out. Now, this index, or sorry, this power is less than the index, which means I can't do anything. And it goes like that. That's it.
Okay, now that makes sense.
Yes.
They put to this face from their slide.
Where's your dog? No, the same time. Like Jill and
Okay, moving on. Wait a minute, why is it 10 outside? Did I do that backwards? 2 times 100. Oh, there's more to that. Oh, crap. Well, you get the point. You get the point. Nobody stopped me here.
No, that's what I was like. I was
100
confused.
divided by
'Cause
2
you looked
is
like
10 now?
My bad. Well, yeah, just, there's more in there. 100 divided by 2 is not 10, it's 50. Ah, that's a neck.
Ew.
Okay, this one. How are we on time? We're not there, huh?
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll get a few for practice tonight and then we'll finish up tomorrow.
Oh, I'm not gonna